Hi, everybody. Here are
Hello,
Tatjana.
and Judith, and we are back already. Not even 5 days after we previously recorded, but what we already hinted in our last episode, the Grand Prix assignments were released today, and let's jump right into it and discuss it because there's a lot to discuss.
Yeah. As always, it's always interesting, and everybody was waiting for it. And we wanted to bring the our take as soon as possible. So that's why we are here today. Yeah. So, let's start probably with the pairs.
Yes, let's go in the order that they usually skated at competition. And the pairs, oh my god, the pairs had the biggest surprise.
Ah, wait. Yeah, I got the wrong
Window.
window. That's weird. I wanted here. So now I have it. Right?
Not yet. Almost.
Can
Here
you
we
see?
go. And yes, the pairs had the biggest surprise of everything because Sui Han, well, they are in it. This is how they kind of announced their comeback.
Yeah, but we
We hinted
in the
already at it.
newsletter there were already rumors. So we already they were unconfirmed because Wenjing she was skating with someone else and but then there were rumors coming from China that actually he is coming back because he resigned from his position. He had some teaching position, so he resigned from that one. And then the next hint was that he was apparently, I somebody sent me a link that he was in the anti-doping pool for the ISU again. So yeah, though there were
Yeah.
several. So it was yeah, not there were some
Some rumors hinting at
rumors
it.
around, but no confirmation, and they didn't say anything. Like other
Yeah.
people, they come out and make a big announcement.
And they just appear in the Grand Prix assignments.
Yeah, they're just here now, and they will skate in China and NHK Trophy. So obviously, it will be very interesting to see
Yes,
uh, what
they're
they will do.
going, and they're going at NHK Trophy against the current world champions. Are they or are
No,
they not?
no.
No,
That's
they're not. Oh wow, yeah.
no. It's
That's
Sarah
fine.
and Nicolo
Nicolo at
Fortunati.
both
They will
at
them
both
meet them
events. Yeah.
twice in China and in NHK Trophy.
NHK Trophy. Okay, that's another surprise that Ryuichi and Rico are not skating at NHK Trophy, but there
Yeah,
are a couple of surprises like
yeah.
this.
Some skaters, I think, they do it because of their scheduling. So
Yes,
Riku and Ryuichi, so they do the F France Grand Prix. So apparently they
first one.
wanted to get an early one, France, and then the other one they do is Skate America. Maybe because it's not so far for them
To travel. Yeah,
traveling. Yeah.
still, it feels surprising to me. As maybe some people don't know because the world champions are actually the only ones who can really choose their assignments.
Yeah.
The other skaters also second and third, and like I think almost everyone can write to the ISU and say their wishes, but these wishes are very often not heard. But the world champion is the only one who can choose the assignments.
Yeah. So they for whatever reason, I guess we will ask. Also, maybe some skaters. I remember. I tried to remember who that was. That was. Oh, it was Volodymyr Trankov back in the old days. That in the Olympic season they would not skate at the Cup of Russia. And they were asked, and they said that they just don't want to have all this pressure and all this
Yeah,
attention. So they
that's
prefer to
possible,
go to
maybe.
another, not
Yeah.
to a home Grand Prix, to be a little bit more relaxed.
But that's a good question for the press conference. It's always good to have something.
Yes, so we will for sure ask them and try to find out why they did not choose their home
NHK Trophy.
events. Yeah, and they
Yes.
are not the only ones, as you already said. Yeah,
So yeah, at Grand Prix France, they will go against Diana Stella-Dudek and Maxime Deschamps. And I think these two are the main headliners of the Grand Prix de France. There's also Maria Pavlova and Alexei Sviatchenko of Hungary. First glance, maybe favorites to win the bronze. Two TBDs from France. We'll see
Yeah.
which pair France comes up with.
Well, I guess they will send Kovalev because
Oh, true.
they are signed only to NHK Trophy, but they are basically their number one team. So
Yeah, it's strange, and the second team already has the spot. So
yeah.
yeah, that's definitely
Okay.
one TBD. So at Cup of China, as we already said, that's a stacked field because we have Suin Han going against Anastasia Metelkina and Luca Berulava and Sara Conti and Nicolo Macci.
Right.
That's the top three teams there, I think, like without question. But also the Uzbek team, Uzbek Russian team. Ganesh Shigarev, they also won already a medal on the Grand Prix last season. And I guess they are aiming to repeat that as well.
Yeah, and then in Canada, it's again Diana and Maxime, and now again up against Miniki,
Yes.
Minerva Haase and Nikita Volodin. Um, yeah, and then the probably Pereira Michaud also medal contenders for this event. So,
And Ellie Kam and Danny O'Shea, I
yeah,
guess, who made the Grand Prix final last season. So they were on the podium twice. What kind of surprised me a little bit that Anastasia Weipanlau and Luke Digby of Great Britain, who had a great season, only got one Grand Prix assignment. That's the only one they got so far. But yeah, it's just a stacked field. There are kind of quite a couple of pairs, but it's skaters in general where you would assume they would get a second assignment, but they only have one.
yeah. It's also Annika Hocke, Robert Kunkel,
Yes,
and Rebecca Gilardi,
Filippo
Filippo
Ambrosini.
Ambrosini, and no assignment for Lucrezia Beccari and Matteo Guarise, the 2024 European champions that had to sit out the last season because Lucrezia had an injury and required surgery, and now they want to come back for the season. But unfortunately, they don't have the minimum score for the Grand Prix, so they are not a comeback skater. For that, you would have been needed to be in the top six at Worlds in the past 10 years. So so even they are in the top 24 world ranking, they did not get an assignment, but they have a chance to come in as substitutes
If
once they
they
competed
if
and
they compete, yeah,
yeah,
like
if
I
they
guess they,
compete and challengers and get win or get a good result and the minimum score. So
yes.
there's still a chance for them. Yeah.
Now
Uh,
let's go on to the NHK Trophy, where we have again Suin Han against Conti Machi, as we already mentioned, and we have Alisa Efimova and Misha Mitrofanov of the US as probably the top tenders there. Um, yeah,
yeah.
Skate America. We have Hokke Kunkel, who actually won Skate America 2 or 3 years ago.
Yes.
But their only Grand Prix assignment that they really just didn't have a good season last year. But also, this team has a chance to get a second Grand Prix, of course, if they do well at the early challenges. They will go against Metelkina Berulava and
Miura Kihara.
yeah, Kihara, which are probably the two top teams. And very interesting, like senior debut for Olivia Flores and Luke Wang.
Yeah, yeah.
The only team I see here who comes up from junior.
Yeah, because then yes, I mean, Berulava already competed senior last year,
Yes,
but
quite a while.
juniors again. But who only competed in juniors? Yeah, the Ukrainian team was a medalist at Junior Worlds, but they also competed already in seniors. So there was no real junior team. But
Yeah,
what
Flores and one.
they were a real junior team because he was too young.
Yes,
Yeah, and Finlandia Trophy finally the last chance to qualify for the final with Miniki again, and then we have
two top US teams. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, Ellie and Alyssa and Misha, Pereira Micho. So that's also I think a deep field.
Yes, deep field, but like one clear favorite. I feel like in all of the events, you have like a few teams who could even fight for the top. While at Finlandia Trophy, I would say Miniki are the clear favorites, and then you have a group of skaters who can fight for the medals. But I think you will have the clear favorites here.
Yeah, okay. So let's move on to the next category.
The women.
Yeah, so the women, maybe I can make this a little bit bigger. I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, so
And it also there were also quite some surprises there. Like the first surprise, actually, I mentioned I was driving with a friend in a car. And I was like, "Why is Kaori Sakamoto in France?" Like,
why not?
I really didn't expect that at all.
Why?
But maybe she also wanted to have an early one. I think she never competed in Cup of France, like at least not the last years. Like
I
since I
guess
follow it
that's
closely.
probably her. That's why she goes to France
Maybe,
because
maybe
she also wants to go to this Grand Prix once in her life.
maybe. I mean, also she this year she didn't have the free choice, like because she's not the world champion. This time, Alyssa Liu was the one who had the free choice, and she chose China and Skate America.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, then we have Kaori, and also the a lot of skaters they like this 3 week rhythm. Maybe that's also one reason because she's skating an NHK trophy. So she has the 3 week rhythm with France, and then I think she has a 4 week in case she makes it to the final. Like the more I think about it now, I guess that was the reason why she wants to go to France, or maybe because she's never been to the Grand Prix of France.
Right.
So she will be up against Isabelle Vito, Cheon Kim. Then we have Nina Petrukina there, European champion, Rion Somiyoshi, and senior debut for Amy Nakai.
Yes. When Rion, she's been a few times to France,
Yes,
and
bronze
usually
always wins a bronze.
yes. Yeah, and in China then we get the Amber Glenn and as you said Alyssa, and then we have the Senior Grand Prix debut of Jia Xin.
But she also only got one assignment. That's her only
Yes.
assignment. And Amy Nakai got two, I think, which I was a little bit surprised about that. Maybe because I think Amy Nakai got two. Oh yeah, she's again in Skate Canada. Maybe because Amy last year made the final and Ja did not. But
Mm.
I can't imagine that Amy is ahead of Ja in the standings. So this really surprises me a little bit.
Yeah, but maybe because Japan is a Grand Prix country and Korea is not.
They have more spots, that's possible. But I
Yeah.
think for Justin, in case she has a good first challenger, I think there's a high chance that she will get a second assignment. Still, that was also like one of my big surprises when I saw it earlier that she only has this one assignment.
Yeah.
So yeah, it will be interesting to see her. She's going right away against Haein Lee. Also, the inner Korean competition will be very interesting because there are so many strong skaters, but only 2 spots for the Olympics. Then we have 3 strong Japanese ladies with Rinka Watanabe, Hana Yoshida, and Rino Matsuike. All very like in the kind of the second row of Japanese skaters who also all really want to push into the first row. And yeah, Rinka Watanabe already hinted that that might be her last season, and she wants to give her everything. She really um, wants to um, push for the quads and the triple axels.
Right. Yeah, and in Canada, so the Grand Prix, the top seed here is Mone Chiba, world bronze medalist, and challenge should come from Isabeau Levito and Nina Pinzarone. They all have been on the Grand
Yes.
Prix. They all have been doing well on the Grand Prix podium. And Sarah Everhard waiting for her chance. She was
Yes.
close last year.
Brady
Brady
Chanel.
Chanel coming back after she had a very strong finish ending of the season with the four continents.
And
So
Naranaki Goodman also was a
yeah, she also
medalist
keeps
last
keeps
year.
building. So, but this could be, it looks pretty open, I think. There are quite a few
Yes.
skaters that have a chance to win and to make the podium. There's
Yes.
no,
I
they are
agree. There's not a heavy favorite. Maybe
right.
Isabel, but it's been a while since Isabel has been on top of a Grand Prix. So,
Yeah, well, I mean, last year she was injured,
yeah.
but she did well at Worlds. So, yeah. And NHK Trophy, uh,
Loena
Kaori, of course, is
Hendrickx.
a top favorite. And then Loena Hendrickx coming back after
Yes.
1 year missing because of injury surgery. So, fingers crossed for her. Before that, she will have to go to Beijing trying to qualify her spot for the Olympic Games.
Yes, that will be such a nail biter. But we come to that later. We
Yes.
have the Senior Grand Prix debut of Anna Pezzetta of Italy, who was very strong at the Europeans last year, and I think earned her spot with that. And we have Wakaba Higuchi and Sofia Samudalkina, also for the first time on the Grand Prix.
Yeah, Sofia, at least. And yeah, Skate America, with of course Alyssa Liu. She is at the home Grand Prix this time.
Yes, we have two TBDs for Team USA.
Mhm.
Like, and she goes against Cheon Kim, Haein Lee, and Gubanova. Also, we didn't mention in the first Grand Prix. Wakaba Higuchi is there. Like all of the, there's so many good skaters. Like, it's hard to not to mention all of them because
Yes.
it's going to be very very packed. Like everywhere, it's so exciting. Finlandia trophy. Also, Ida Karinen of Finland has her senior debut as a very promising young European lady who is, I think, also the top favorite to get the
Olympic
Olympic spot
spot.
for Finland. And we'll see how she does in seniors. I mean, she still looks very tiny, and but she is 17. She looks younger than she is. So that will be interesting if she can
She has to
be.
be 17.
Yes, she exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
she.
of course Nina Petrokina coming just over the with by boat from Tallinn, Estonia,
Yes,
which is because it's very close to Helsinki, so very convenient for her. Amber Glenn, she has been. I remember Finlandia Trophy Grand Prix
yes.
a few years ago when she was had a very bad trot
She was
program, and then
11th in the
she
short.
came
Yeah,
from behind, won
at the
the bronze
podium.
medal, the
Yes,
first
exactly. I
Grand Prix
remember that
medal,
too.
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
So there must have been some memories from Finlandia Trophy
She
from
won a
Nina.
medal at the Skate America before, I think, the previous year. Like I now remember like her first Grand Prix was the Skate America 2022. Like now the nerd in me comes out. But yeah, but it was a very big surprise for Amber back then, and I think she has good memories. Let's
Oh,
go to the next category.
ice dance.
Ice dance, and this is also very interesting. There was one field I remember was like, oh my god, all of these teams are super good. But
So we start with France, and of course,
yeah,
everybody will wait there for the debut of Laurence. No, not everybody, but many people will wait for the debut of Laurence Fournier Beaudry with Guillaume Cizeron on the Grand Prix. And
yes.
stuff competition with Lila Fia, Louis Gibson, the world bronze medalist, and three-time European champions, Charles Guignard, Marco Fabri.
Also interesting right away in Grand Prix de France, we have Lila and Lewis against Charlene and Marco. That's spicy always.
Yeah, and it will be the same at the NHK Trophy. They
They
will
go,
compete
oh wow,
against each
that's
other twice in the Grand Prix.
yeah.
So, and yeah, then Cup of China
Oh,
is
we have
Smart and Deke. Well, Chock and Bates, Madison Chock, Evan Bates, the headliners, of course, the three-time world champions.
I'm kind of surprised that the two French top teams are both not at the Grand Prix de France. Lucia and Theo and Evgenia and Geoffrey both are in China and not in France.
Yeah, it's interesting, but I think maybe they didn't want to go against Laurence and Guillaume.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's
they asked the
possible.
federation not to send them
Yes.
there. So, and France, and the teams they have, Lopareva Brissot are in China and also in Skate America, so they
Yeah.
have two
Yes.
other assignments. And Lucia and Theo, I think. Maybe they are only in China for now.
I think they also, no, they are also at Skate America.
Ah,
At
Skate
Skate
America.
America, we have 3 French teams.
Oh, yeah. Also the
Yeah.
team coming from juniors. Yeah. So, but I think the Cup of
Okay.
China, good chance also for Olivia Smart, Tim Deek. They had a bronze medal last year at Skate America, and then after doing so well at the World
Yes.
Championship, so
They're very motivated.
they could yeah, challenge for the silver medal. Uh, yeah.
And but Toronto the silver medal because we haven't even yet mentioned yet Madison Chalk and Evan
No,
Bates.
I did mention them.
You did mention that. Okay, sorry. I got
I
tired.
did mention
You
them.
said I'm sorry for that. But yeah, also kind of surprised that they picked China, but also they have the 3 week rhythm with Skate America, so I guess that made it interesting
Yeah,
for them. So
right.
in Canada, we have Piper Gillis and Paul Poirier and the Marjorie Laura.
La
Marjorie
joie.
Lajoie and Zachary Laga, like 2 top Canadian teams who I think are the favorites for first and second. But also there are Christina Carrera and Anthony Panomarenko, who already last year really aimed for the Grand Prix final. Then they were a bit unlucky with some circumstances, and they were just the first alternates. But they will be hungry and they will attack, I guess.
They're very
And there will,
close with La joie Laga. Like
yes,
they're always going head to head in many events.
yes,
So,
yes.
so it's another. Yeah, we'll see who comes out of top. Of course, maybe home at ice advantage for
For
Marjorie and
Canada.
Zach. Right.
Julia Turkila and Matthias Verslus, I think, are also worth to mention, who will also aim for the podium. Yeah.
Then NHK trophy, we already said, Lila, Fia, Louis Gibson, Charlene Guignard, Marco Fabri, and then the comeback of
But of
Maia
the
and Alex Shibutani.
Shibutani, very, very exciting. Yes.
Think Japanese Federation was happy to invite them because of their Japanese heritage, and they're very popular in Japan.
Yes.
They sometimes they went there for different events too, so no wonder they were picked. Yeah, so these three teams are the top contenders, I would say, without having seen yet Maya and Alex.
Yeah, I think they will probably go to an early challenger as well, like to at least one challenger ahead of that. But yeah, very exciting. So it's Skate America. We have some Grand Prix debutants, and I was like, we have 3 teams debuting on the Grand Prix at Skate America. The French junior team, and I was personally so happy for Phoebe Becker and James Hernandez that they finally got a Grand Prix assignment. They have been closely left out the last 2 years, and I remember they were pretty disappointed. So I think they're thrilled that finally they got at least one assignment. And the junior world champions, Tali Lafonara, also debuted on the senior Grand Prix in Skate America. Heavy favorites there, of course, again, Chuck Bates and
And another match between Ladua
Lajra.
Laga
Oh,
and
yeah.
Carrera Panumarenko.
And this time there's a home advantage for the American team.
Right. So we will see what happens.
Yeah.
Finally, Finlandia Trophy with again the Shibutanis
That's the
and
stacked field. This is what I saw. I was
yes,
like, this field is kind of crazy.
Gilles Poirier.
Yes.
After they yeah, no, I'm not sure if we mentioned that they are at Skate Canada, but it's so obvious they always at Skate Canada. But they are also in Finland, and they've been there before. Yeah, and then we have the two comeback teams there. We
Yes.
have Olivia Smart and Tim Deek.
The two
We have
Finnish
Julia
teams.
Turkila and
Yes.
Matthias Verso. So it's a very, as you said, it's a very deep field.
It's also always exciting if the last Grand Prix is a very deep field because this is where the final is decided.
Right.
So let's jump into the last category, the man. The
So,
man.
yeah.
And
So, and I think Grand Prix de France, like a few years ago, is such a
very
deep field.
stacked.
The men, yeah, the men. So, world champion Ilia Malinin decided to kick off his year there.
Yes.
And right, and Adam Schauhinfant, of course, the home favorite is there. And strong Japanese, Kao Miura, he was struggling with injury. last season. So let's see. Then Lukas Britschke, the European
Yes.
champion, and I remember that like 2 years ago in France, there was everybody skated so well, and he skated so well,
Um,
and with he would have been on the podium in every other Grand Prix with his score, but in
he
France he
was only
wasn't.
fourth. I remember that.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But yeah, who knows? It will be his chance maybe this time. And also nice to see that Maxim Naumov is
Yes.
skating. So he
No,
has a
he is still competitive. Also Andrew Torgashev was last year a medalist in France, so I guess he's also happy to come back there.
and Nika Igatze finally hoping maybe for his
Yeah,
after
he always
finishing.
gets
I think
fourth.
nobody has so many fourth place finish than as he
Yes.
has. So yeah, Cup of China. We will see Mikhail Shaidorov, the world silver medalist. And
Cool.
he was silver medalist at Cup of China last year. Very narrowly lost to Shun Sato, who is also there again.
Yes.
And
Uh,
Junwan Cha, Denis
Junajad
Vasilyev. So it's and Boyang Jin coming back. So also good.
Daniel Grassel made the final. We didn't mention
Yeah.
him yet. Of course, always favorite for the medal at the Grand Prix. And the senior debut for Jacob Sanchez.
Yeah.
And at Skate Canada, then we have who we have there. Kevin
Malinin again.
Amos.
Malinin.
Ilia.
No, he again did not pick his home Grand Prix.
Oh yeah, exactly. Ilia did that. He has won Skate America 3 times, but he decided not to go there again. Also, a question for the press conference for sure. The field in Canada kind of feels a little bit weaker to me first glance. He's up against, of course, Kazuki Tomono, Kao Miura, Nikolai Memula, Kevin Amos. Yeah, well, of course, also there's
Kevin.
no weak fields there, but compared to some other events, it feels like a little bit weaker, maybe. Um, then NHK Trophy, we have
Yuma
uh,
Kageyama.
Yuma Kageyama, of course, he
So
got his
starting a
home
little
Grand
bit
Prix.
later. Starting a
Yes.
little bit later in the Grand Prix. He's only doing the fourth and the sixth Grand Prix.
And he's going up against Shun Sato, TBD, of course, from Japan, and Junwan Cha. Like Japanese fans will be happy that he's there. And Adam Hagara finally goes to NHK Trophy. He was assigned there already last season, and the Japanese actually wanted him, and they invited him. He knew already at the end of last season that he would go there. So the senior debut here for him, and should feel very special to do it in Japan.
Well, senior Grand Prix because he's
Yes,
been
debut. Yeah.
doing worlds and everything on senior already. Yeah, and Lukas Britschke again. He won a bronze
Yes.
medal 2 years ago. His first Grand Prix medal at the Grand Prix.
Yes, that's
Um,
true.
so yeah, sweet memories for him. The Skate America. So as we said, no Ilya, but it's Mikhail Shaidorov who steps in as the world
Yeah.
medalist because there should be a world medalist in each Grand Prix. They are seated like that. And yeah, Jason Brown, he's doing the
Yes.
last two Grand Prix.
I guess he wants to have a little bit more time. Yeah.
Yes, probably. Kevin Amos, so he has been doing well at Skate America the last
Yes.
times when he was there, last 2 years.
Yeah, I think
Um, yeah, and Daniel Grassel again, as you said, always a medal threat.
yes. And then Finlandia trophy to wrap it up. Then we have Adam Xiao and Fa going against Yuma Kageyama. Like this, because Adam Xiao and Fa was not a medalist at Worlds this year, so he's not a top three seeded skater. So he has kind of more difficult fields this year. So it will be interesting him going against Yuma Kageyama there. I think the two big favorites and Jason Brown.
Right.
And yeah, of course, always Denis Vasilyev's crowd favorite.
Right. So that was, and you find all these information obviously on the ISU website, and should be a very interesting and cool Grand Prix. And just
Yes.
to close this off, because we won't do now. We had this one. We don't do a news podcast. There was a more, of course, for our German
Viewers.
listeners. Yeah, that Christina Isaev, the two-time German champion, has announced her retirement. because of health reasons, also financial reasons. So she's not trying to get an Olympic spot. Would have been very difficult anyway.
Anyways, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, she retired and she said she will be coaching now.
Yeah, she's coaching in Dortmund, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we wish her all the best and yeah, happiness in her future career.
Yes. Yeah, so that was it. The Grand Prix assignment's out. It feels like the season will start now,
Yeah,
almost. But we know a lot will might still happen. There might be a lot of changes still in the rosters. But we hope that everybody stays healthy and will get ready. And we are looking forward to seeing the Grand Prix.
please discuss which Grand Prix are you most excited about, which matchup, who are you excited to see, what were you maybe disappointed about with these assignments. So yeah, let us know, let's discuss, and yeah,
Yeah.
I hope you're as excited.
Okay, so stay tuned. We will be back.